This morning we gather for worship, and we ask that you please turn your video off while we light the chalice and Black Lives Matter candle. This will allow people to see the words on the screen and follow along. We also recommend that you make certain you have the most updated version of Zoom on your computer. Please note that we are recording this service, so if you don't want to be in the recording, please keep your camera turned off.
Good morning, everyone. We are an intentionally multi-generational, multiracial, multicultural, inclusive, and anti-oppressive religious community. You are welcome here. I'm Steve Thomasberger. I serve as a member of the Congregation's Board of Trustees. And here with me are Pastor Theresa Soto, our Pastoral Care Associates, and Zia Swim, Dan Wright, Stephen Snyder, and our worship producer, Vincent Rains, and others. As a reminder, we're recording this session, so if you don't want to be in this recording, please keep your camera turned off. And speaking of cameras, for much of the service, we're asking you to turn off your cameras, as this makes it easier for many of us to focus on the words and music. There will be times to see each other, and we'll let you know when to turn your cameras on. It's good to be with you.
We'll now light the chalice together. Will you say these words with me from your respective place? We're keeping our microphones muted for now. We light this chalice, symbol of Unitarian Universalism. May it remind us of the divine spark in all of creation, the power of love to heal what is broken, and to be grateful for life's blessings each day. And now we light the Black Lives Matter candle. We light this candle in solidarity with the Black Lives Matter movement and work for the day in which Black lives are treated equitably with dignity and justice.
Good morning, everybody. This morning I'm going to sing a song by Carole King. It's a song called Way Over Yonder. Way over yonder, there's a place that I know where I can find shelter from the hunger and cold, and the sweet taste in good life is so easily found. We're way over yonder. That's where I'm bound. I know when I get there, the first thing I see is the sun shining golden. It's shining right down on me. And trouble's gonna lose me, leaving worry behind. And I'll stand up proudly in true peace of mind. Way over yonder is a place that I've seen in a garden of wisdom from some long ago dream. The sweet taste in good life is so easily found. Way over yonder, that's where I'm bound. Well, maybe tomorrow I'll find my way to the land where the honey runs, in the rivers each day, and the sweet taste in good life is so easily found. Way over yonder, that's where I'm bound.
Thank you so much, Stefan. That was a beautiful song. We really appreciate it.
So now, if everyone would unmute their mics and greet each other and welcome each other this morning.
Good
Good morning.
morning.
Good morning,
Hi,
everybody.
Ron.
Welcome,
Hi,
Will.
Ron.
Morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Hi, Evelyn.
Hi, Marcy. Hi.
John.
Hey, Alan.
Hi, hi.
Marcy.
You all.
Hi,
Carol. Emily. Hi, Marcy.
Hi, Tara.
Hi, Laura.
Hi, Mari.
Hi, Carolyn. Hi, Deborah. Hi, Mary. Hi,
Debbie.
Claudine.
Hi, Eleanor.
Hi, Laura.
Hey, Ellen.
Hi, MJ.
Hey, hey, all.
Hi, Owen. Hey, Janet.
Oh,
Hey,
a
Anthony.
wonderful person
Claudine.
this morning.
If there's
So many kisses.
Leslie and
Hi, MJ.
Hi, Suzanne.
Well, thank you, everyone. Good morning, Claudine. Let's go ahead and mute our microphones again, and we will transition. So this morning, we're taking a bit of a different approach. Often, we tell the story itself. Today, I offer you a chance to witness grief of children and what they wish grown-ups knew about it. So let's see what we can get.
Y'all know why we're here, right?
Yes. Sure. My dad, his name was Robert.
My dad, his name was David.
My mom,
What was her name?
her name was Catherine.
My mom, her name was Stacy.
What was Stacy like?
She liked to give hugs a lot. Like she had this shirt that said free hugs and hug dealer.
He would give bear hugs and squeeze you really tight.
He loves hugs.
Yeah. A lot of hugs, huh?
Kind of a normal parent thing.
When you talk about this, how does it make you feel?
Kind of tense and like sad. Because it's hard thinking about them.
Happy and sad because it's happy that you get to know them and have time with them, and then it's sad that they go away when you're young.
Have you noticed people treat you differently after your mom or dad died?
Sometimes, like, they're so worried about me, they ask about my parents, and I'm mad about that, but sometimes they're just comforting and then they're kind.
I feel like sometimes, like at first, they were really nice to me and considerate, and then I feel like it kind of washed away.
Do you want them to say, I'm sorry?
Not really, because it just makes me feel even worse. Because then I feel like they're apologizing for nothing, because it wasn't their fault. It makes me feel uncomfortable, but I'd prefer them to say, I'm sorry for your loss or something like that.
Do you think that we treat kids differently when they're grieving, or we just don't know what to say to you?
Most adults don't know what to say.
Most of them don't talk about it, and they're more in different subjects rather than talking about that subject.
Sometimes, do you think, when adults are trying so hard to not talk about it, you can tell?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
You can feel it.
Yeah. Like when my dad just is trying to avoid it, I can tell.
What do you wish grown-ups knew about what you're going through?
Well, I kind of wish that they would help me more, because they just expect the best out of me, but it's kind of hard to do that all the time.
They should learn how to recognize when I feel like I need more space or when I need to be comforted.
And it's okay to talk about this stuff or not talk about it, right? And maybe just we'll take your lead, your people too. You get to decide when you want to talk about it. Sound like a deal?
Yeah.
Thanks for talking to me.
We are going to now sing a congregational hymn, number 318, We Would Be One. The words will appear on the screen, and please sing along with this recording of the chancel choir singing We Would Be One. We would be one, as now we join in singing our hymn of love, to pledge ourselves anew to that high cause of greater understanding of who we are and what in us is true. We would be one in living for each other, to show to all a new community. We would be one in building for tomorrow, a nobler world than we have known today. We would be one in searching for that meaning which finds our hearts and points us on our way. As one we pledge ourselves to greater service, with love and justice, strive to make us This morning, we give thanks for the deep, immeasurable love in which we are surrounded. We find ourselves both carrying grief and treasuring the compassion, both divine and the warm human love of our travel companions in community. We open our hearts to the love that covers us in its fullness, leading us onward to the world that we dream about. We pray blessing on this congregation, comfort and compassion for those in grief, tenacity for those in struggle, courage for those facing challenge, and care for each and all of us.
In these moments, we commit to be both instruments of these gifts and recipients of their bounty. And this day, a new story rises, but only if we claim it, shape it, sing it, find our home inside it, choose to live within the promise of its discipline, the daily practice of its hope. May we greet the new year dawning now, this history unfolding with more wisdom than before. Let be so. Let us see to it. Couple of quick reminders for us this morning. The first is facilitation education coming right up. That will be on January 9th from 1 to 2 p.m. And the people invited, group leaders, group members, and folks interested in learning, you're invited to learn more about how to lead a great meeting and get to the end of where you want in the conversation. Other reminder, on January 21st at 6:30 p.m., we'll be having an exploration called The Good Ones. And it is about the impact of white exceptionalism in growing our multicultural strength. Building racial stamina is required to challenge the racist status quo. And it's a critical part of the work of white people. So you're invited to find out more. People of the global majority, you'll be invited to a different event, specifically to examine your different consequences and impacts of white exceptionalism. So please look forward to that as well. Now, if you take a couple of smooth breaths with me, we'll begin our ritual of tolling of the bells. This is the season in which we welcome back the light. Our days slowly become longer and the winds blow cold while 2020 recedes behind us. Our minds and hearts are drawn to those we knew, who were perhaps dear to us, whose lives deeply touched ours, who no longer accompany us on this earthly journey. To these persons, we now turn the holy light of our attention.
Images come to our minds of dear companions, loved ones, and family members who brought grace into our lives, who blessed us with words and deeds, and also images of persons whom we knew only from afar, whose lives impacted ours. Some among us may be grateful that someone in their life has died, no longer alive to inflict harm and pain. All of these persons are now physically gone, like morning mist in the noonday sun. To these we turn the holy light of our attention.
My name is Carol Wood. I am the current Pastoral Care Coordinator. The Pastoral Care team is a group of folks who are ready to listen compassionately to the things people who participate with the congregation are going through. Today, as the congregation marks the grief of the previous year, we are grateful to witness your sharing. May a gentle awareness of our departed dead flow into our consciousness, awaken memories, both sweet and sad, for we know all lives are complex. May their spirits be rekindled again in our bodies and once more prove that even death may not sever the bonds that connect us.
In the fall, our rituals of transition and remembrance offer us an opportunity to remember all the ancestors who have gone before us. This morning, we stay focused on those who have died in 2020. As you return to the weight of your grief and loss, Pastoral Care Associates are ready to listen compassionately. The team includes Carol Wood, Judith Hunt, Scott Magnus, Daphne Parson, me, John Shinnick, Annette Williams, and Evelyn Sheridan. We are grateful for the opportunity to journey with you.
I'm Judith Hunt, and I'm a longtime pastoral associate. We are available to be of help. If you need someone to talk to, have a new baby and you need some help, hospital visits, and a variety of things like that. Be in touch and ask for help.
Thank you so much. Yeah, perfect. Carol, I'd love you to say hello to folks.
Hello, as I said, I'm Carol Wood, and I am the current pastoral care coordinator. So we are here to make ourselves available in any way that we can. Please reach out. We're here for you.
Thanks, Carol. We have a couple of people we represent with their name and gratitude for their participation. Scott Magnus is one of those. We're really grateful for his teamwork, as is Daphne Parson. Grateful for Daphne as well and her compassionate listening.
I'm John Shinnick. I was a recent lead pastoral care associate, and I welcome the opportunity to serve.
We're grateful for the teamwork of Annette Williams as well.
And I am Evelyn Sheridan, and I am the offgoing pastoral care coordinator. I've been doing that since June of this year, and thank you very much for the opportunity to serve.
These are people who will listen to your concerns, who will hold your joy with you and continue your journey in community. The expression tolling is derived from the English tradition of telling of the death by signaling with a bell. Let's begin by witness of this tolling. As the bells ring, hear their reminder of grief and loss, but also community. We toll the bells with the words of African-American composer Stephen James Taylor. It is impossible to stop cadence. A bell rings long after the clapper hits the cup. We engage in an English practice of memory and love today. This is part of our discernment and embrace of positive wife identity. At the same time, the campus of our congregation sits on Ohlone land. It is a practice of honesty and accountability to tell that truth and to include it in our understanding. The Ohlone people preferred cremation before the arrival of the Spanish. Once the cremation was complete, the loved ones and friends would place ornaments as well as other valuables as an offering to the dead. Ohlone believed that this would give them good fortune in the afterlife. Here's a picture of the Shell Mound Memorial in Emeryville. In 1924, archaeologists discovered over 700 burials. The repeated construction and use of the mounds forged a direct link between the living and the dead. Bay Area peoples dwelled on top of mounds whose cores encapsulated the sacred remains of their ancestors, going back many generations. And now, a modest memorial keeps their vigil behind an old navy. This is a sober truth we hold without care. In a moment, we will ring a chime. Music will play. We will stay muted. While the music plays, I invite you to type the names of your beloveds who have died in 2020 in the chat. Thank you, Renee, for that beautiful playing. We really appreciate it. Please join me in contemplation of the list of names we just saw as we listen to Silence by D.H. Lawrence, read by Worship Associate Dan Wright.
Silence by D.H. Lawrence. Since I lost you, I am silence haunted. Sounds wave their little wings a moment, then, in weariness, settle on the flood that soundless swings. Whether the people in the street, like pattering ripples, go by, or whether the theater sighs and sighs with a loud hoarse sigh, or the wind shakes a ravel of light over the dead black river, or night's last echoing makes the daybreak shiver, I feel the silence, waiting to take them all up again in its vast completeness, enfolding the sound of men.
In a moment, we will again ring a chime. Music will play. While the music plays, I invite you to consider the symbols and memories that you will treasure even in your loss. For Reverend Hope Johnson, I will put the color of bright turquoise in the chat, as that is always something that will remind me both of her presence and of her love for life. So please join me in remembering symbols and memories. Let's close this time of memory and love with the tender words of Jane Kenyon, a white American poet who died of leukemia. Read by Catherine Winship.
Let Evening Come by Jane Kenyon. Let the light of late afternoon shine through cracks in the barn, moving up the bales as the sun moves down. Let the cricket take up chafing as a woman takes up her needles and her yarn. Let evening come. Let dew collect on the hoe abandoned in long grass. Let the stars appear and the moon disclose her silver horn. Let the fox go back to its sandy den. Let the wind die down. Let the shed go black inside. Let evening come. To the bottle in the ditch, to the scoop in the oats, to air in the lung, let evening come. Let it come as it will, and don't be afraid. God does not leave us comfortless, so let evening come.
We've come to the part in our service when we talk about our practice of generosity as a community. So there'll be a video and information for you to follow. The British Midra said, "It is not what we have that matters. What matters is what we give away with love." Today, our invitation to generosity invites you to connect the love that you have for your community, for your family, for yourself, and even the world all about us, with your action to give, both for your own good and for those around you. We have many ways to give, including the app Give Plus, a link at uuoakland.org, and the texting number that you see on the video. In the chat, you'll find a link with additional specific instructions. We thank you for participating with us, and we know that you're the expert on your ability to be generous. We welcome all gifts and no gifts according to your capacity. Thank you for practicing with us today. Now we return to the words of our congregational commitment to the work of the church, which is weaving a tapestry of love we call community. We dedicate ourselves and these, our offerings. I'd like to add one more opportunity for us today, and that is for us to return to the tolling for all of the people who have lost loved ones to COVID and who are affected by COVID in this time. So, this reading is called In the Time of Plague. It's written by N. Scott Momaday, who's an Indigenous Kiowa novelist, as well as a poet, and won the Pulitzer Prize for Fiction in 1969 with a book called Housemaid of Dawn. Here's what he says. In the time of plague, we keep indoors. When we dare to venture out, we are cautious. Our neighbors smile, but in their eyes there is reserve and suspicion. They keep their distance, as we do ours, in mute accord, much of our fears unspoken. For there is at last the weight of custom, the tender of rote consolation. We endure thoughts of demise and measure the distance of death. Death too wears a mask. But consider there may well be good in our misfortune if we can find it. It is hidden in the darkness of our fear. But discover it and see that it is hope, and more, it is the gift of opportunity. We have a rare chance to prevail, to pose a resolution for world renewal. We can be better than we have ever been. We can improve the human condition. We can imagine, then strive to realize our potential for goodness and morality. We can overcome pestilence, war, and poverty. We can preserve our sacred purpose. We can determine who we are in our essential nature and who we can be. We are committed to this end for our own sake and for the sake of those who come after us. There is a better future, and we can secure it. Let us take up the task, and let us be worthy of our best destiny.
let us sing together, Go Now in Peace. Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go. Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go.
Amen. Thank you so much, Stephen. Thank you, everyone, for participating, for sharing what's in your heart, for allowing us to know about your grief. We hold each other in our care. I hope you have a wonderful week.